Have you ever sat bolt upright in bed, startled wide awake by a scary dream? Hi, my name is Andrew Helt. I recently graduated from the University of Tulsa with a bachelor's degree in psychology. My research as an undergraduate has all related to the treatment of nightmares in children. In this short presentation, you'll hear about how a nightmare treatment therapy developed by researchers at TU may even help children while they are awake, how we are learning about recruiting research participants better, and how TURC has enabled undergraduates like me to chase down answers to research questions like these. If you ever have been startled wide awake by a scary dream, then you've experienced a nightmare. Nightmares are quite common, especially for kids, and they can be quite problematic, especially if they happen frequently or are very distressing. Perhaps if they cause you to relive something very scary from real life, like a traumatic event. My faculty advisor, Dr. Lisa Cromer, has been working on ways to treat children's nightmares using therapy. The nightmare treatment therapy teaches kids skills to help them cope with nightmares. Skills like relaxation strategies, helpful sleep habits, and how to change the script of their nightmares to make them less scary. So we think this treatment works, right? So we think that every therapist should take our word for it and use it, right? Well, no. You see, if you go to a healthcare provider for treatment, you probably expect that they will treat you using methods that have been shown to work using the scientific method. The nightmare treatment therapy is no different. So Dr. Cromer's research team has been working on a couple of studies to find out how the treatment works for kids. These studies also give us the opportunity to learn more about nightmares themselves and to figure out ways to recruit participants into nightmare trials even better. Let me tell you about a couple of research projects that a TURC summer research grant enabled me to do, looking at each of these questions. Have you ever watched a child who has not had enough sleep? As an assistant preschool teacher, I once knew a little girl who showed up in my classroom one morning with a note from her mom. The note warned me that she had had far too little sleep the night before. Sure enough, by lunchtime, she couldn't walk 3 feet without getting distracted, pulling things off of shelves, and pushing friends. We couldn't wait for nap time. So what was happening? Well, this little girl was showing low executive function. Executive function is how kids hold in mind what they are working on, how they inhibit impulses, and how they switch from task to task effectively. Good sleep helps kids have strong executive function. So along with Molly Richard, a doctoral student, I looked at whether treating nightmares could help children's executive function. We found preliminary evidence that treating nightmares using this therapy could potentially help kids' executive function in 2 aspects, namely inhibition and set shifting. This means that children who had the therapy could potentially switch from recess to math class more effectively, or better suppress impulses to distract their classmates. After looking at executive function, I started learning about recruiting research participants. After screening children at a local psychiatry clinic for nightmares, we had a very large stack of screeners indicating nightmares. But very few of those screeners indicated interest in joining our nightmare treatment trial, which included free treatment. So we were curious. Why were so many families not interested in joining a nightmare treatment trial that included free treatment? Along with Jack Stimson, another doctoral student, I designed a study to find out by asking caregivers directly. After reading article after article to find out how best to design our study, we've interviewed caregivers and are making sense of what they've told us. Some caregivers have told us that the nightmares went away on their own without therapy. This may tell us that the nightmares were inherently transient, perhaps they were less severe. Some caregivers have told us that they are now interested. This may tell us that it's worth following up with caregivers over the phone and perhaps later. These findings overall can help researchers who are researching nightmares in particular to better recruit participants into their nightmare trials, which can help them better research their research questions. Finally, I want to thank TURC for affording me the opportunity to take ownership of these research projects in ways that I would not have been able to otherwise. Thanks to that ownership, I've come to discover that I enjoy the research process far more than I expected to. And with that self-knowledge, I plan on pursuing a doctorate in psychology down the road. I'm grateful for the role that TURC has played in that journey. Thank you.